I believed that 8 years of marriage had prepared us for anything, that whatever storms might come, we would recognize them early, brace ourselves, and stand firm together. I believed there were no surprises left between us, no hidden fault line that could split what we had built. I was wrong. One decision made in seconds and impossible to undo changed everything. Daniel and I had always seemed balanced. He was steady, deliberate, someone who weighed his words before letting them leave his mouth. I lived more on instinct, driven by emotion, often acting before thinking. For years, those differences felt complementary, like two pieces fitting together. Only later did I understand they were also where the cracks began. There was one thing Daniel had always been clear about. A single boundary he never wavered on. No photos. No recordings. Nothing intimate captured or stored. He said it unsettled him, like losing control over something deeply personal. I didn't fully grasp why it mattered so much to him, but I accepted it. Or at least I thought I did. That weekend felt special in a way we hadn't felt for a long time. We had just come back from a short trip to the mountains, the kind of escape that reminds you who you were before routines and responsibilities took over. We laughed the entire drive home. We cooked together, danced badly in the kitchen, and for a while it felt like we had slipped back into an earlier version of ourselves. When Daniel stepped away for a moment, I made a choice that still makes my chest tighten when I think about it. I picked up my phone and pressed record. I don't know what I was trying to preserve or prove. Maybe I wanted reassurance. Maybe I was afraid of losing that closeness and wanted something tangible to hold on to. Or maybe I was just selfish. Whatever the reason, I crossed a line I knew existed. He didn't say anything that night. I thought foolishly that I had gotten away with it. The next morning he left early for work. I stayed behind, straightening the room, when a sudden wave of panic washed over me. My phone wasn't where I had left it. I found it later, placed carefully on his side of the bed. The battery almost dead. The video was gone. Deleted. I sat there, frozen, rehearsing apologies that felt too small before I even spoke them. When Daniel came home, he felt like a different person. Not angry. Not loud. Just distant in a way I had never seen. I reached for him instinctively, said his name, told him I was sorry. I explained it had been thoughtless, a mistake, that I had erased it. I erased it, he repeated quietly. The calmness in his voice frightened me more than shouting ever could. When I touched his arm, he pulled back. Not sharply, just enough to make it clear that closeness was no longer welcome. From that day on, our home felt unfamiliar. He slept as far away from me as possible. He made meals without asking if I wanted any. He left earlier, came home later, and avoided meeting my eyes. The worst part wasn't the silence, it was the absence of the way he used to look at me, like I mattered even when we weren't speaking. After a week, I couldn't take it anymore. I asked him to talk to me, begged him to be angry if that was what he needed. Anything but this quiet distance. You crossed a line, he said evenly. The one boundary I told you mattered. I tried to explain myself, but the words felt hollow even as I spoke them. You didn't just ignore a rule, he continued. You showed me that my boundaries aren't safe with you. I asked why it mattered so much, pointing out that I hadn't shared it, hadn't shown anyone. That was when he finally looked at me, his eyes full not of anger but pain. You made me vulnerable without my consent, he said. You turned something private into something that could exist outside of us. That changes everything. For the first time, I truly understood the weight of what I had done. What felt small and impulsive to me was a deep violation to him. I can fix this, I said, desperate. He shook his head. This isn't something you fix quickly. The days that followed were heavy. I didn't know whether to give him space or fight for closeness, and every wrong choice seemed to push him further away. When I found him sleeping in the guest room, my chest broke open. He said he didn't want to disturb me, but I knew the truth. He didn't feel safe beside me anymore. Standing in the doorway that night, I asked the question I had been too afraid to voice. Are we over? He paused for a long time before answering. No, he said. But we're not okay. I asked him what I could do. His response wasn't harsh, just tired. Give me time, he said. And respect my boundaries, even when you don't understand them. I promised through tears. He didn't hold me or reassure me. He simply picked up his pillow and told me he needed space. It wasn't forgiveness, but it wasn't the end either. For now, that fragile in-between was all we had.